Welcome to a special IPA episode of A Beer with Atlas daily version. We've done a lot of different IPAs over the years. Have we done this for 2 years?
Have we hit the 2-year mark? I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look.
150 plus episodes
Yep.
of A Beer with Atlas. All of these, virtually every beer that we get comes from a travel nurse, sends us these beers from wherever they are in a contract. We drink them, talk about them on a podcast, and have a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So yesterday was IPA day. Today is International Beer Day. So we thought, let's mash them together. And we're going to go through our top 5, me and Dolan at least.
Yeah. Brian is on vacation. Yeah.
And it looks like he's drinking beer on vacation,
Oh,
quite
yeah.
honestly.
You can follow him on the Untappd and see everything that he's drinking.
Absolutely. And we'll include all of our links down below
for sure.
for us on Untappd. So we're going to go through our top 5 IPAs that we ever drank on our podcast, A Beer with Atlas. I'll start.
Okay.
Number 5, Waking Up in the Sun, episode number 152, the Lua and Toppling Goliath collab. And I'll tell you why it was number 5, why it made the list, is because normally collaborations are kind of boring and not very good. And this I thought was a fantastic IPA.
Especially for how small Lua is compared to Toppling.
Correct. And how heavily IPA focused Toppling Goliath is.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a fantastic collab. Your number 5.
My number 5, I went with Resilience IPA. Sierra Nevada, they did an IPA. A lot of breweries did it, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Sierra Nevada came up with the recipe. A lot of breweries made the IPA in all the proceeds went to the fires that were happening down in California.
In California. Number 4, the hashtag Dayton Strong IPA. Our friend of the show, Thomas Piper, arguably the guy that came up with the idea behind the Beer with Atlas podcast.
Yeah.
I want to say it was his brother that got these beers. And remember, it was just a white can that said Dayton Strong.
Hashtag Dayton Strong.
Yep. I thought, honestly, it was episode number 50. I'm sorry, it was episode number 65.
Okay.
And I thought it was just, honestly, they could have just kind of faked their way through a beer just to sell it for, right? You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
But it was a very good beer for a very good cause. And
yes.
I really enjoyed it a lot. Plus, it came from Thomas, who 1, loves beer, and 2, loves the show.
Yeah. My number 4 was Juicy Bits, episode 33. If you were here listening to A Beer with Atlas since the beginning, you may have came along on my journey of liking IPAs. So maybe I didn't like it then, but I've had it after. Mm-hmm. I love it. It's great. But also, it's one of my favorite episodes in general because that's where we came up with our CB radio names. Rusty Nail and Hobo Pork Chop.
Yeah. Oh, yes. All right, number 3. IPAs from TRS Healthcare. Our friend Caleb English, episode number 44. They sent us the Slaughter Pen.
Yep.
And the, I wrote it down and then I scratched it. The bike rack. It wasn't a bike rack?
We learned all the cycling terminology or mountain biking terminology. Yeah,
that was a great. Fun episode. And those were great beers. Both of those were great beers.
Mm-hmm.
So.
My number 3 was Treehouses Julius. It's so good. Mm-hmm. I mean, so juicy. That's all I got to say. It's episode 55. Great beer. Just a great beer.
East Coast. It's the East Coast has, they know how to make a juicy IPA.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Number 2, Omnipolo, Icy Cream White Chocolate Mango.
I forgot about this one.
Episode 135. And I'll tell you why. Because it was a triple IPA with all of that stuff. And so it was fun, it was creamy, it had lactose, it had chocolate. It was just, there were so many different things going on that just the level and depths of flavor were off the charts for me. And it came from my friend Rambo, who runs Longhorn Liquors in Estes Park, Colorado, who is a beer guy. And he's like, okay, come back on Wednesday because I'm going to have something fun. And that's the one he gave to me. And it was so worth it.
That's awesome. My number 2 is the one I'm holding right here. Broken Skull IPA, Stone Cold Steve Austin from El Segundo Brewing Company. Strange enough, not out of Texas. You'd think it'd be out of Texas, but great beer. I don't know what I liked more, the episode or the beer. I mean, it was all around good.
We had so much fun talking about wrestling.
Oh, yeah, we did.
It was a blast.
Awesome.
And that's part of the fun about the podcast itself is not only do we talk about the beers, but not only do we talk about the beers, but then Brian brings something fun. You have a different perspective than the rest of than us two.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun to listen to.
And Brian's research is probably my favorite part of the podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hands down.
All right. Number one, you probably guessed it. Episode number 1,
Yep.
Fairy Nectar.
Fairy Nectar.
It's my favorite beer just in general. Like, Fairy Nectar is... It was the beer that started me on my IPA journey. Within my beer journey, right, there's IPAs and drinking different IPAs. And when Bobby first gave me Fairy Nectar, I said, I guarantee I'm not going to like this. And he said, I guarantee you will. And that changed everything for me.
Yeah, that's my number 1 too. Episode number 1, Fairy Nectar.
Yep.
I hardly knew what craft beer was and what it meant and the ins and outs of it all and understanding that, wait, beer can taste something like something good and not,
right,
what most lagers are or what most people would associate the beer flavor with, or you know what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And that's part of the fun of doing this too is everybody's beer journey is different.
Yeah.
Mine was different than yours, than different than Brian's or whatever. And anybody that listens to the show, their beer journey is completely different. There are very few beer flavored beers.
Yes.
Right? I mean, there's some standards, right?
Yeah.
Pabst Blue Ribbon and ones like that. But there's a beer for virtually everyone out there now, regardless if you don't like beers.
Yeah.
There's something for you.
Yeah. And that's one of my things that I say to everybody who says I don't like craft beer. You just haven't had the right one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. New episodes of A Beer with Atlas air every week on Wednesday. You can find us on Apple Music, Spotify. Where else are we?
Oh, man, we're everywhere. Stitcher.
Tune
in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have had, we just joined Spotify and the podcast on Spotify, and it's been fantastic. Those episodes air like 4 o'clock every week. It's like clockwork. It is fantastic.
That's great.
So, Producer Dolan, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, we're not going anywhere for a while, right?
Let's have another beer.